Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Michael. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm talking about why I ditched my iPhone XS Max and switched my SIM card into the OnePlus 6T. Let's go ahead and get started. So just to preface this video by saying whenever I do a video where I talk about how I ditched my iPhone for another phone, I always like to mention that I always come back to my iPhone. So some people think whenever I make these videos, it's a permanent decision. So right now I took my SIM card out of my iPhone XS Max. You can see there, no SIM, and I switched it into the OnePlus 6T. So I haven't used an Android phone in a while, and the first thing I noticed is switching from iMessage to texting is kind of a bigger deal than you might think. Apple and their ecosystem really grabs you and keeps you in it. They pretty much hold your phone number hostage until their servers decide to remove your phone number, because as soon as I decided to deregister my phone number from iMessage, people still texted me and they still went through as iMessages being delivered to a phone that wasn't there anymore. So Apple has had some issues with this in the past, and that's it's really frustrating because with Apple, you're told it just works, and it's kind of like when you join the ecosystem, they really don't want you to leave, and we definitely saw that with my issue with iMessages, because it should be as easy as I turn off the switch to iMessage and it completely shuts it off, but instead people were still sending me iMessages when my SIM card is only set up to accept text messages. So this phone was sometimes getting iMessages sent to my email address, even though I completely turned off iMessage and didn't want to get anything sent to my phone number or my email address. So just keep that in mind. If you do decide to leave your iPhone, leaving iMessage is going to be a little bit tricky. But once I got that figured out, I was able to really go ahead and start exploring this Android phone. And I used Android before. I think a few years ago I had a Nexus 6, and I actually liked that phone. And here I have the OnePlus 6T. And the first thing that I remember from having an Android phone is just how awesome it is to have any home screen you want. So here I have my main apps. I have other apps I use on a day-to-day basis in a folder right here. I have a Google search bar with a really quick access to Google Assistant, and I have right here a always changing Google, pretty much an information bar. So right now, since I have nothing coming up on my calendar, it just shows the day and the date, and it shows the weather. But if I have an event coming up on my calendar an hour from now, it will actually show that on that bar there. So that is pretty cool. On this home screen, I have my calendar, kind of like MKBHD. Whenever he shows what's on his phone, I kind of got inspiration from that. And then below here, I have a sub count. And then over here, I have a world clock, never settle. I have a quick access to a points app. And I also have all of my payment cards right here. One thing I also notice on Android is because Android phones do not lock down the NFC chip inside the phone, it is a lot easier to pay with mobile cards. So with my iPhone, whenever I want to pay, I have to add my card to Apple Pay, and I always have issues activating my credit card. My bank always thinks that there's some sort of fraud going on, and they always deactivate my account. But here, all I have to do is sign into the application, activate the widget, click on my credit card, and I can pay just like that. So this definitely is better than my iPhone. So that is one thing I noticed when I switched from my iPhone to the Android phone, is the payment systems are a lot easier on Android, and they're a lot easier to set up when the OEM of the phone allows applications to take advantage of the NFC chip, which is something Apple doesn't do, which is very frustrating. One more thing that I had to change is I had to switch over to Spotify. Now, I know Apple Music does have an Android application in the App Store, but it just doesn't work very well. I had so many issues with the UI, and it almost feels like Apple built that Android application kind of horribly just so they could frustrate you enough to ditch your Android phone and go over to an iPhone. It's kind of a stretch, but I almost feel that's something Apple might do just because the application is so horrible, and we do know that they have software engineers over at Apple that can make good applications. It's just kind of funny how horrible the Apple Music app is on Android. So I had to switch over to Spotify, and it's not that bad. I don't really like the dark theme. I know people love dark mode everything, and I'm excited for a dark mode on iOS iOS 13, but for some reason I just don't like the dark UI of Spotify on this phone. One thing I also do like on my iPhone here, if I grab it, it's a very small thing, but whenever I'm looking for a song, I find it easier if I can see which album that song is on. You can see here, I like a lot of Green Day. Don't say anything in the comments about that. But whenever I want to find a song, it's a lot easier for me somehow if I see the album art next to the song. So this is something I really wish Spotify could adapt, because I know other streaming services such as Tidal will show the album art next to the phone. It just looks like kind of wasted space here. I don't know why they couldn't put the album art to the left of the song or even on the right side. But just a very, very small thing I noticed. Spotify is good in its own ways. One thing I did change is I went into my settings and I actually changed my download quality to very high. So whenever I download songs, the quality is very high. And I played my Spotify playlist in my car today, and I really noticed when I downloaded all my songs, there was a quality difference. So again, that's just kind of the overall idea of Android, the ability to customize it exactly how you want it, and just being able to change the download quality. It just really feels like an Android phone. I know you can do that on your iPhone, but again, with Apple Music, Apple just lets you download it and that's it. But on Spotify, it lets you choose which quality you want to download it at. So a very small thing, but it is something that I noticed in my music application. So this isn't a full review, so I'm not going to talk about every feature of this phone, the OnePlus 6T. I have been enjoying it, so I'm going to talk about one more feature that I was able to get working on this phone. So I was able to port the Google camera application onto this phone, and it has an unbelievable night mode. So if you go here and click on night mode, you can take a picture into the dark, and it pretty much works like night vision. So I'm going to show you this photo right here. This looks like it's a pretty well lit room, but this is the actual photo, and this is with night mode on. So it's unbelievable. It's a night and day difference, and I really wish Apple could bring this to the iPhone. The fact that Android can do this just with software, because this is supposedly only for the Pixel phones, but I installed this application on a OnePlus phone and it still worked. So it's all software that's doing this, and it really is cool technology. So I wish Apple could bring that to the iPhone. But other than that, guys, I'm really enjoying this phone. OnePlus is a very unique company. I feel like they're very honest. I watched their keynote where they launched the OnePlus 6T, and they're so honest with how they present everything, and they're just upfront, and they're always telling the truth, it feels like. They feel like a very genuine company to me, and that's kind of the selling point for me when it comes to buying a product from a company. If I can trust the company, if the company is honest, I feel like they're more deserving of my money. And whenever I watch a Samsung keynote or something, and you may have seen my tweet on this on Twitter, I said the Samsung keynotes, they always seem very fake. They always seem ungenuine. The people on stage always seem like they're just acting, like they don't really care about the product. And that's kind of what I liked about OnePlus, and that's why OnePlus got my money instead of a Samsung phone when I decided to switch from iOS to Android. So this is my first Android phone experience in a while. I'm going to say it was a 7 out of 10 experience. I'm probably going to switch my SIM card back to my iPhone probably at the end of this week. I want to see how this phone can handle one more week with me. I've been enjoying it, but if you guys want to see a full review on the OnePlus 6T, you can tell me in the comments down below. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael, and I'll see you in the next video.